Well, hey, we are live. And Mars in the house. And I'm in the house. I think we're all in houses.
I'm here.
Unless you're out on the porch.
No.
Or on the lawn or in your parking spot. You ever just hang out in your parking spot because it's yours and you can?
No.
No. Oh. But you pay good money for that parking spot.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
I
fine.
mean, if you don't sit out there every now and then, you squatters could lay claim to it, and it's like someone that puts a fence over your property line. After so many months or years, it legally becomes theirs. Maybe depending on the state.
Is that how that goes?
I think that depends on state laws, but I think that
am I allowed to shoot people on my property?
That also depends on state laws. In Florida, yes. But probably not in California. Sorry, Florida. Not sorry. Anyways, so I'm here. Mod Pro is in the house. Mars in the house. Sparky Toaster might not be in the house. He might be listening through other means. I don't know.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I, for one, am appalled and offended. How dare Sparky Toaster make fun of my dad's initials? I don't.
Oh, is that why he got banned?
What do you mean no one actually knew my dad's initials?
We never asked. It's one of those things you don't ask, you don't tell, right?
No, I swear he was using it as an acronym in the chat to say that the stream he was watching was funny and goofy. That's all he actually was. He was.
Oh, is that what he actually said?
He now his story, and I believe him because Sparky's a man of his word, is that he was referring to British cigarettes, and unfortunately the word tripped up the filter. And the appeal went unnoticed and unresponded to, and he got a 7-day suspension for slurs and hate speech. So,
and the bot just happened to be listening at that moment.
On a related note, though, my parents were very careful about what names they gave us and what the initials would spell out to make sure that nothing like that would happen to us. But, I'm remembering some months ago my dad saying, yeah, I saw that YouTube channel of yours. And I'm like, oh, no, what did you watch?
Oh, no, someone saw that?
Which one did you? And so, it's okay. It's tax season. He has no time to watch this. So this will just get buried in the pile of episodes he'll never watch. But that's okay because tax season's coming to an end, right? Yeah.
Well, today's tax day.
Today's tax day?
Oh no, tomorrow's tax day. I'm sorry. Tomorrow's tax day, and then those people who file for extensions.
Right. So that gets and the thing about Easter is Easter moves around. So that sometimes it's before tax day and sometimes it's after tax day, which is rough for people like my dad because sometimes
Jesus decided to rise at random times during many years, right?
Yes. And basically, what day Jesus would rise was a formula that was based on what year he happened to be born. But hypothetically, if Jesus were born in 2025, he'd rise in April. But there are other years that he would have risen in March. It's perfectly logical and totally scientific. Isn't that right, Brian?
Absolutely.
Actually, I think it has to do with
the moon.
The moon. It was just okay. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, it ought to coincide with the Jewish calendar as well, but it doesn't, because theoretically, Thursday, Maundy Thursday is Passover.
Right. Okay.
But that's not always actually this year. It isn't.
No.
Yeah.
It's actually it's far off.
I mean, I was going through digitizing home movie tapes, and I noticed, like, Easter baskets, Easter egg hunt, and the date of like March 20 something, and I'm like, is that right? And it's like, yeah, no, that's right. Sometimes it's in late March.
What was that, like 96, 97?
It was actually, I think it was like 89, maybe. I'd have to pull it up.
I mean,
again.
this year is really late. It's on April 20th. Next year
Yeah.
it's on the 5th of April. So.
Which is good for my dad because tax season's over. He can relax and enjoy Easter rather than just have a brief day off that he's worked hard to make available.
Incidentally, so on
Yeah.
Friday, we received our e-sign from our tax person.
Uh-huh.
We sent the email probably at about 11 p.m. We got a response from the lady at 3 a.m.
Well, that works.
See, I'm already ahead of all y'all. I already spent my tax refund to pay down my cat debt. So, that's
yeah. There are priorities.
easy
right?
come, easy go. Right? Gotta
I
pay down
literally-
that cat debt.
I got $1.25 this year. So,
Ooh.
I know.
You timed it. You said it perfectly. The idea is to get back nothing
That is
and not pay anything.
that is what an accountant would say is the ideal. I like getting my little lump of. I don't want it to be huge, but I'd rather have some.
A little money is fine.
A little money, yeah. A little, a little something to help pay down the cat debt.
Also, by the way, just saying, I donated. I donated to research cancer stuff on Twitch. That's how I got money back. Thank God for write-offs from Twitch. I'm just saying.
Twitch write-offs.
Wow.
That's a
Yep.
thing. Oh, cool.
You don't have your own show on Twitch, do you?
No,
That's under
no, I
your
don't.
name?
Nope.
So you don't make any money from Twitch?
Hell no.
Most years I don't.
I spend money on Twitch. I don't.
That's funny.
Well,
No.
Once I got some money from Twitch, because you have to get a certain amount before they send you anything, and it's only happened once in all my years streaming on Twitch that I accumulated enough.
Did you declare it or did you forget it?
Oh, they emailed me a form. I included it in my documents to my dad, and he included that in my taxable income figure.
That was what, $65?
Something like that.
So on our return, because we didn't pay this is bizarre. Okay, we didn't pay enough in for estimated taxes.
Okay.
So we got a penalty of $94.
$94.
But since we're getting money back, do you actually pay that penalty? I mean,
It
I
comes
didn't dig
out
through
of
that penalty
your
to see where
refund.
that came in.
Hmm.
Yeah, did they take that out of my refund? Hey, it's $94. Fucking keep it.
I think there was 1 year that, and to show how unusual this was, it was so unusual. I think, like, my dad forgot to even include an envelope or something. There was 1 year I actually owed like $5 to the state of Massachusetts, and I had to.
So wait, Warhawk says he prefers making money on Twitch. Reality,
paying money
on Twitch. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have his. Does he have Warhawk have his own show?
Well, if you view on Twitch, a lot of times you donate or you subscribe to channels, and so that is totally yeah. I mean, Twitch is a business based on donations that Twitch takes a cut out of. Which is why Patreons are better.
Right.
And OnlyFans.
Because it's actually.
Wait, I'm not allowed to say that.
It's actually direct, right?
OnlyFans is a store that sells only fans. They got ceiling fans, they got oscillating fans.
Wow.
And the perks of visiting and making purchase from said store is top-notch stuff for the most part. I mean that's
okay, so Twitch doesn't have his own videos.
Right. But I would like to give stores
Mark
that sell
is the
fans a
NHB
round of
network.
applause is what I'd like to do.
I think the other one that a lot of people do, if they're into that, is like, what was it, Fansy or something as well?
I don't really follow the
And that'll actually
post
Fansy
pictures
will
of
take,
yourself.
apparently Fansy will take your Twitch account and import all the people that actually have accounts on Fansy, and you can watch them. But
Which
that's
one's the
another-
one that people go to for foot stuff?
Only Feet?
I don't know. Anyways, Brian, sorry, you've been trying to say.
Oh, I was thinking of Just Strings, but
Oh, just strings.
so Mars,
What?
when you donate to the cancer charity, whatever, on Twitch, does the charity actually get it?
Yes, they actually sent me an email back.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's how I use that as a bright
Because
option.
sometimes I
not the streamer,
see
no.
these donation requests. Like Facebook is the same way. Are they getting the money, or
Nope.
is the social media platform taking a big
No,
cut?
absolutely none. No.
Zero?
That's one thing Twitch does, especially if they work with a streamer. The streamer makes absolutely no money off of it. And the great thing is, I donated money, and they had to do a challenge to go with it, and I got a write-off. So it's a double win-win for me.
Right. So
Just
so
saying.
there wasn't money that kicked back to Twitch from the
Absolutely not, because
at
I got
least
an
that
email.
you could see.
Yeah. Nope. I actually got a formal letter from them, an email, and they sent me a formal email in mail, or formal mail in mail. And they said, here you go, and this is your write-off. And it was actually the company. It said, you spent this much money. In fact, Brian, the best part was there was someone else sponsoring it as well. So they got double the money that I gave them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I donated
Now,
$100 to...
that doesn't mean
Yeah.
that the nonprofit
Yeah.
didn't pay Twitch on the
Nope,
side.
they got nothing. So basically, I
No,
donated...
you don't know that because you can't see it.
Well, I got the mail from the place.
I understand that, and
Yeah.
you don't see it, but they could be paying Twitch in the background.
Why
That's
would
outside of
a
your
charity pay
transaction.
Twitch money? No. Twitch is
No, this is
Yeah.
fundraising is very expensive for nonprofits. Trust me, since I work.
This is thrilling radio here, so let's go to the messages.
Oh.
Warhawk putting out that he doesn't stream, but when he does stream, no one watches. And then our favorite stores, well, Mars's favorite is Only Coffee.
Yay!
Yep.
Mod Pro's
Right.
favorite, Only Cheesecake. And, of course, Dude's favorite site, Only Feet.
Oh.
Hey, dude!
I don't think you got that one right. Dude writes in, Patreon doesn't allow conservative creators. Wonder why Johnny likes that site. I didn't say anything pro or con about Patreon, just that that is the better option for donations because Twitch doesn't take a cut. I did not get all... I don't know where Dune comes off turning this into a political topic. I don't know a damn thing about
I
Patreon's
didn't
politics or
realize
policies.
That, Patreon had any restrictions other than
I'm
they
not-
probably don't allow porn.
They probably... Well, nothing allows porn except for everything. But nothing.
Well, that's why you have OnlyFans.
It's
So,
been an issue because like
the
sites.
store.
What's the site that has like the artwork that all of a sudden came up with a no porn rule, which means
Well, I
that
know,
any nudity artwork is all of a sudden, which pretty much
It
decimated
wasn't
the community.
DeviantArt, right?
Might have been. That might have been.
Because
I-
there's been illicit stuff on DeviantArt for yonks. You know,
Look-
I don't know.
Okay.
The problem is that most websites are businesses to make income, and
Yeah.
we have such hang-ups in this country with nudity and sex that sponsors demand that we clean it
People
up.
do sneak through with nudity on Twitter, but I think it's removed. I mean, I don't look for it, so
I don't really
see it.
either.
I-
I don't go to any of these sites, by the way. I don't do it. It's just I'm on Twitch, so you learn
Yeah.
about things. I'm just saying.
I will say I stopped scrolling through Twitter at work because one day I was scrolling through Twitter at work on a break, and these big bouncing boobs show up on my screen.
Yeah. Oops.
And you're like, oh.
I'm in the office on my work computer, and it's like, dude, fucking what the? Get that off of here.
Wait. Did you
Right.
just say, I'll save that one for later, I'll close the lid?
Yeah.
Oh, if I want to see bouncing boobs, I can see a million of them any time at the snap. Bing image search and video search is great for, although most of it is Pornhub links. But anyways,
I don't really look at that stuff. So
well,
Now,
that you can't
Mars,
see, so.
are you familiar with Angelino's coffee?
no.
I mean, their advertising lately is K cups.
Ew.
You know, they're saying because they're mailing it to you directly, you're getting it very fresh. And some of the ads that show the person like sets aside their K cup, K cup machine, Keurig machine, and throws all the coffee away that they were buying because it was crap, but then discovered Angelino's and now, oh, wonderful coffee.
I mean, whatever you're into, it's fine.
But
with me.
they also do bagged coffee and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But
yeah.
their big deal is that it's fresh.
So what'd you think? Have you had it?
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't had it yet. That's
know
why I
you're
was
right.
asking.
No, I never heard of it.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
they say it's
I've been-
fresh,
I've
it's
been
not
doing-
fresh.
Do you play any games on like iPhone or Android or whatever that pops up ads?
I do not have anything that pops up ads, sir.
Okay.
Because I either pay for the game or I have an ad blocker. It gets rid of that stuff on my phone. So.
So
Okay.
I've been doing
Fair
Atlas
enough.
Coffee Club.
Oh, you've been doing a coffee club.
Yeah.
So they
well,
deliver to your door once a month?
yeah, they deliver a
That's
few
cool.
bags, and it's been good stuff. I've been enjoying
You
it.
go through a few bags a month.
Yeah, well, they're small
I
bags.
do. Yeah. No, I've been curious about doing a coffee club. I just haven't done it yet.
I actually have to supplement the bags they send me with grocery store bags because it's not enough, but I don't feel like paying them
Okay.
more for more bags.
So I've been going to
yeah.
Pete's Coffee since I got this Mr. Coffee espresso machine.
Oh, nice.
Figuring, well, I'm going to get a fresh bag of beans.
Okay.
I have been getting beans only and then grinding myself. The last bag
There's
I had
another site,
pre-ground.
Beans Only.
Oh, beans only.
That's your Beans Only site.
Hmm.
Yes, Death Wish. No, don't drink that. That stuff's not. It doesn't have very good taste. I hate to say it. That's sad.
Oh, okay. That saves me from buying it because I see that in the store all the time. Walmart, I think, carries it.
I liked Death Wish. I thought it was all right.
I
mean, it's
it
a
had
dark
weird,
coffee.
It had a
but
weird chemically aftertaste to it. That's the problem with it.
Weird.
I haven't had it in years though, so
Yeah.
maybe it's changed. But I thought it was good when I had it.
Yeah, pizza's fine, Brian. Which one do you usually get?
I get the espresso forte, and I
Okay,
like
espresso
it.
forte season. I usually I just get the French roast most of the time for standard beans, and lately I've been buying. It's a cheaper brand, but I've been buying Lavazza. It's one with a high crema on it. So when I do it with my espresso machine, I get a nice oil to it on top, and you mix it in and stuff. So
But no, anyways, I guess Warhawk and also Brian joined a little late, so they missed the whole thing about Sparky Toaster not in the house, unless he's watching from another angle or another channel, because he did send Dune some messages yesterday, but Sparky's the victim of a 7-day Twitch suspension.
What did
because
he do?
He was talking about British cigarettes in chat, and it was misunderstood as a hateful slur or hate speech or something like that.
Really?
I think he just thought that the streamer was funny and goofy and was trying to come up with a cute little acronym for that. But I don't, he's whatever it was. It's just stupid. But
Say, Dune,
it's
we-
also
we-
just 7
we
days,
forgive
so
you.
whatever. Yeah.
We forgive you, Dune.
Forgive Dune for what?
This post you did, I had to go political.
Someone made me mad today. My first thought was Johnny would agree with them, so acted. You know what, Dune?
It's all right.
Why don't you, instead of sniping at other people, let's talk about that. What made you mad today? And I realize that it very well could make me mad, but all's fair in love and politics. So like,
Actually, that is such a wrong. It's wrong on every angle.
Whatever.
I
I
have
swear
coffee,
he was
sir.
just calling them funny and goofy.
Funny
Talk
and
about-
goofy.
is that the
That's what I said.
about Sparky?
Yeah, I think that's what he was actually doing in the chat. That's my theory.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how many days did he get?
7.
7.
Wow.
That's standard Twitch ban. First ban is 7.
We miss
Well-
you, dude.
I will say this is nothing new. I remember the days of IRC chat rooms where you could be banned at the whim of some asshole. And
Yeah, could happen. Could happen.
it could happen. Never happened to bars. Happened to me all the fucking time. Never happened to bars.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever been. I've never been banned from anything, Gators. I've never been banned from anything.
God, IRC chat rooms were the
In fact, I was never blocked either. So
fucking wild west of the internet. back
You know
in
why?
the
You know why? Mars,
good old days.
You know what the reason is, Mars? You're a really nice guy. We can all cry now. Wah!
pretty much.
Oh man. Well, the worst was the time when, like, I thought things had calmed down. I thought I was getting along with people in the chat rooms, and actually, I might have been banned from the Sailor Moon chat room, but I was in like the Moon Palace or the Sailor Senshi or one of the whatever the offshoot was that Amy was running with that other chick. And I would hang out in that room because that room actually had built up a following and a regular audience. And so it was like Sailor Moon Part 2. Most of the same people were hanging out in both rooms. So if you got banned
Yeah.
from Sailor Moon, you just hung out in Amy's chat room, and it was mostly the same people. And Amy was Mars. Would it be wrong of me to say that Amy was a big attention whore? If I asked you to say,
I'm not saying that directly, but
I am. Well, if
it's like I am.
well, if you had to say one thing you remember about Amy that she had said to describe herself, what would that be?
I'd have to think that far back.
Okay, I remember
Holy crap.
the one thing I remember about Amy that she said all the time and was quite proud of is that she has big boobs that are very jiggly.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you did remember that, you just didn't want to say it.
I you know what? It's been a while. I will say it's been a while. It's been quite a while.
It's been quite a while, but
Yeah.
she would often talk about her big. I mean, I think she played tennis and she had problems with them jiggling while she's playing tennis, and she'd talk about that in the chat room. And,
It's
and
like
then,
a disability.
You need to learn to wear a sports bra. Honestly, I mean, she didn't.
I didn't pay much attention to that. I was mainly fixated on picturing the big jiggling breasts when she
And
kept
how many times were
talking
you
about.
banned, Gators? How many do you think?
Well, for her, only 2 or 3. I
Oh,
was banned for many other things. No, but so surprise, surprise. And the thing is that I thought that we were on friendly terms. I would direct message her sometimes, and we would chat. She was playing one of these like MMORPG type games that took place in some kind of a castle, and invited me to join her there. So I thought we were getting along in that non-creepy way, but it turns out we were getting along in that creepy way. And she just didn't want to tell me that, and so then she like goes and like is talking about me to her friends about what a total creeper I am. And so they hold like a Survivor style on their secret chat voting out
Yeah, who has the tiki torch
ceremony. Right. They're doing they're having fun with this. Like, today's the day we're going to ban him, and they got the tiki torches in there. And I know this because one of their friends, Liz, who befriended me, had access to all the logs and shared them with me. So
Yes, I bet you she was pretty much into the drama, wasn't she?
Liz was
Was
quiet.
this like a Lincoln log?
Yes, Lincoln Log.
Lincoln Logs. Yeah, this is no. So no, Liz was kind of the quiet one. She just I barely noticed Liz until I got banned from that room, and the only room I was allowed to go in was Alf's room, which I don't remember what the name of that room was, but there was this room that this guy that used the username of Alf had started. And it had become kind of a ghost town. There's only like 2 or 3 people that would hang out in there anymore.
Like our show.
Like our show. But yeah, so that was basically the only chat room I had left open because I got banned from the Sailor Moon and the Moon Palace or the Sailor Senshi or whatever that the name of that one was. And Liz was also hanging out in the Alf room. I forget the name of it. And so she started chatting with me. And as she found out, like, hey, this guy's actually kind of nice. I don't understand why they, were so mean to him. She shared the chat transcript with me because she thought it was unfair the way they treated me. And then I went and I confronted them. And then they got mad at Liz for sharing the chat transcript with me. And then she got mad at me for basically blowing her cover by revealing that I knew this information because I was supposed to take in all this information.
Say a word.
Well, it's not easy to read a bunch of people you know that pretend to be friends with you saying horrible, hateful things about you and to pretend like you don't know they said them. Of course I'm going to know they said them, and of course I'm going to react accordingly. There's no way to hold that under your hat.
Gators, you would be horrible on Survivor and Big Brother. You're not allowed to play those games ever.
You're going to be.
You would be horrible. You'd be kicked off the island and out of the house.
How much of a paycheck do the people that get voted out the first episode get?
I don't think they get anything.
Oh, then that's why I never auditioned.
I mean, otherwise, if you stay at the end, I think you get a couple million.
Right,
well,
the winner gets a big prize,
right.
But there also are. I mean, they have some leverage over you because, like, the people that get voted off have to stay in seclusion in a hotel so as not to appear in public before the end of the airing, so that no one figures out who was voted off.
Council at the end, I think.
Right. So and so like I think.
But even still, the shooting of the show has been done for weeks, if not months.
Of course.
So
Well,
are you secluded that long?
I don't know. So. I don't know the details of that, but I know.
I think even that final council when everybody shows up again.
No, they need to be.
They've been done.
Yeah,
they need to be.
Basically, they need to be in seclusion until the last episode is over.
I think that way they all show up in public at the same time in case people. I don't know. All I know is that I have heard that there's some kind of seclusion that takes place until the whole thing's over, so that people can't put 2 and 2 together about who's going to get voted off.
And then they have
next.
the reunion show.
Well, they also have a strict non-disclosure agreements.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is something we need Nick here. Nick would know the details about this.
Oh, does he watch all those shows?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he loves Survivor.
Yeah, I wonder if he still does. He hasn't mentioned that in a long time.
Yeah.
Because reruns of Dexter's are showing, so he's watching that.
Dexter,
I'm gonna tell you,
Survivor, All My Children.
The one I'm addicted to recently, I've been watching Tiny House Hunters. Oh my God, I don't want a tiny house, but these people buy these houses that are 144 square feet, or like one lady bought one that's 64 square feet, and she just carries it around on a trailer and lives in places. I'm like, dude, this is kind of cool.
See, why wouldn't you just get a trailer?
You know what, Brian? These people want a tiny house because they want a potty inside.
You got to park it someplace.
Yeah, but a travel trailer has you can get a small one with a decent decent bathroom, shower, toilet, sink in the bathroom.
I mean,
little kitchen.
I look at this. Either live in a tiny house or a converted school bus. I have no problem with either.
Well, that was.
Well, you want the school bus to be fixed up with all you want.
Well, Miss Mary Lou was doing the school bus thing, and they had a lot of problems with that. I think it ended up costing them a lot more than they thought, and they ended up having to sell it. But although a part of that, I think, had to do with her.
Who was that did that?
Miss Mary Lou was a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
She started having she suffered from some PTSD issues that she didn't really go into detail about what caused that.
Fine.
which is
What's
fine.
the
But
new
she did
part?
talk about going through that and dealing with that. And then also she discovered that she had autism that caused different sensories to become overloaded, which would cause her to kind of crash and burn. And
A small
living
space is hard for that, I bet.
right.
Yeah.
She needed. So they ended up.
So where did she have this tiny house?
I
I mean, this school bus.
Well, they were somewhere in they traveled around the West Coast with it. There were times that they spent a lot of times in the woods because she
They're
loved
going
to.
campground to campground. And that
She
sort of
she
thing.
loved to spend time just kind of in nature in the woods and kind of sit down and take it in.
So like true boondocking.
I only
True
got bits.
boondocking would be no facilities.
Most of her streams consisted of her singing songs, so you only got bits and pieces here and there to try to kind of piece
Yeah.
together the whole bus thing. But I do know at some point she alluded to that the fixing it up was much more challenging and problematic than they were
Oh, it's not
expecting.
cheap.
They would if
Sure.
they had to do it again, they wouldn't. They would
Yeah.
do something different or do it differently.
I would buy an already converted one. I would-
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy that's still doing YouTube videos. He's living in an RV and traveling around the country.
I see the minivan. I see the van life ones. Those are interesting as well.
I think
And
I've
they just
seen
live in
van
their
life.
van.
This guy is the nomadic fanatic.
Okay. I think I've seen that guy. He does EDC stuff, right?
He's not too bad. Yeah,
Yeah, he said some EDC stuff, right?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Yeah, but he travels with a cat. Apparently, currently he has a girlfriend with him. I'm
Oh,
not sure what that's about because he's had girlfriends in the past.
wow. I'm calling you, Brian. To let you know.
That's
All
him.
All the phones are ringing. Who's it from?
I'm not asking.
Ooh, we can find out.
It got cut off before it told me.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's probably about his car warranty. It's probably expired.
It could be. Your car warranty has expired, Brian, hasn't it? You're gonna need to extend that.
Right. Actually, I haven't had one of those calls in a long time.
I
Well,
get
what
those
it is
sometimes.
when they'll call, I'll say, "Oh, yeah. Oh, can you warranty my '57 Chevy?" They hang up immediately. Dang.
I remember one time-
I'm all set. Are you going to warrant my race car? See if they hang up on that immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I once got when I was at
Blew
work.
an engine out. Will you warranty that?
I was working one day and I got a call from Microsoft support, and
yay.
I said, I'm using a typewriter, and he's like, what? I work on a typewriter. How do I connect to your site with the typewriter? And the guy actually cursed me out before hanging up. He was
You win. When they curse you out, you win.
he was not pleased with my sarcasm. He's trying to make a living, trying to make an honest living, scamming people, scamming
Actually, I
dumb
talked to a
Americans.
guy, you get these guys that want to buy your house.
Oh yeah,
And I talked to one of the guy, and I, kind of asked him a little bit about him. What's your company, all this. And I says, "Do you have a realtor's license?" And the guy says, "No." And that he's been doing it for 3 years. Can he actually do that without a realtor license?
No.
it probably
That's what
depends
I
on the
thought.
state. I don't know. I don't know anything
I'm
about.
pretty sure it's required for California.
I know nothing about selling or buying houses.
We should
I
we
mean-
should get my Fung on here. She'll tell us whether
she's,
that's required.
she's bought enough houses.
I mean,
and
Brian,
she's had a realtor license.
I mean, Gators, you
I
did
didn't
buy
know
a
that.
couple out. You
Yeah.
did buy that
Oh,
house,
yeah.
so
I bought a house and I
Yeah.
went through a realtor and
Yes.
but no, I get little envelopes periodically from people that want to buy my house, cash sight unseen, and they go right in the recycling bin. But for a while I was getting calls and texts, and one day I get a call from this sounded like a young lady. Maybe it was Amy. I didn't ask
Maybe.
about her tennis playing, and but
You know,
no,
she's probably 45 years old now. You know that 50 years old, right?
oh man, she's probably going in for back surgery by now.
Probably.
Probably.
or she probably had a reduction. Honestly, she really is upset.
I think she was talking about having a reduction.
Yeah.
I seem to recall. I used to have a picture of her just because people would share pictures and I'd throw them in a folder and then I'd forget about it. And every now and then it's like, oh yeah, that's the girl with the big breasts. Although it was a headshot, but
You can only imagine.
you can only imagine from the
Sometimes the imagination
descriptions.
is better than reality, right?
It would have been. I kind of
Otherwise, it's funny and jiggly.
yeah. But what was I saying?
That's
So
a question
yeah,
about that
I get a phone call from this young lady about like wanting to buy my house, or and I forget what prompted the conversation, but I think she
Thank
said
you very
something like,
much.
I think she said something like, "Oh, we've heard you're interested in selling your house," and I'm like, "You've heard wrong." Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hold on a second, because now I have a real live person that doesn't have an accent that is like local, sounds like, and I'm like, maybe you could help me out. Why am I getting calls from people like you? What's going on? She's like, I don't know. I just, I have a partner that I work for, and he's got a list of numbers of people that are interested in selling their house. I'm like, all right, where does this list of numbers come from? I don't know where he gets them from. Who's this guy that you work for? What's his name? And she did not hang up on me right away. So clearly she was not well rehearsed in this. But she didn't, I don't think she gave me a last name. I don't remember. All I know is that I made her very uncomfortable asking all these 20 questions about who are you and why are you calling me about buying my house. So I'll take that as a small victory. I made someone uncomfortable for inconveniencing me. But and then she moved on to the next number on the list.
Probably.
Or maybe she quit the job, which good for her if she did.
I mean, I've had people come to my door. Hey, how much you want for your place? And I'm like,
No.
I could throw a number out. I mean, I say about 2.5 million, but I can pull that number
See,
out.
what I do is I'll ask for 10 million.
Brian, I thought I'd be generous. I'd give him a chance. 2.5 mil is fine. I can buy a decent house for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could.
but you need a retirement fund.
Hey,
That's
if
right.
I buy an okay house, I can get it for $850,000, and then I can use the rest for retirement. That's fine.
Well, what about the cat debt?
I don't have a cat debt. There are a lot of cats around here, but I don't have a debt for cats. I'm fine.
Well, now you can have cat debt.
Aw, poor kitty.
For a kitty. Dune writes in, give him the venison price, $750K.
Well,
I don't.
no, I'm not gonna give him $750K. No, that might give you a 2-bedroom house here, dude. My condo, my little bitty 1-bedroom condo, it's 750 square feet. The thing's worth $530,000. I mean, honestly, that's how much it is in the Bay Area. Now, I
Yeah,
didn't buy.
yeah.
I paid 5 times less than that when I got it. But yeah, and it's not even 750,000.
I had a neighbor
Yeah,
that was
square feet.
posting his house
Yeah.
on Zillow, and he was asking for, I'm going to guess 20% over the market price.
Yeah.
And it was listed there for quite a long time. You could tell he's not really serious about
Yeah.
selling. He
I'm
would just
not gonna
go for
sell my
that price. And the bottom
Hmm.
line, though, is he got when the market crashed, he of course his house was foreclosed on.
Oh.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
not
People go, hey, you should flip your condo. You'll make a lot of money. I'm like, yeah.
Then where will I live?
I'm like, then where am I gonna live? I'm going to do another condo for the exact same size. Okay. Or less nowadays.
Now, when the housing
why-
market crashed, a friend of mine that was paying a large mortgage, and he built a music shed in his backyard, so
Oh,
he
I
could
approve.
do that.
Yeah.
Well, the market crashed, and he goes, "Wait a minute, I could buy a house across the street for far less than what I'm paying on this house."
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
walked away from the house, and he bought the house across the street.
Yeah. Makes
Nice.
sense. Makes sense.
His house was foreclosed upon.
Yeah. Now, Dune writing in that he remembers when Venison was living in his house, he was complaining they only offered me $150,000. It's worth $500 or something crazy like that.
I guarantee you he did not Zillow with that place. And
No.
the outside Zillow, I said, but they didn't look inside
Well,
either.
the thing is, his house may very well have been worth in that range if it were fixed up and not in need of all the repairs it was in need of. But
And if there was electricity,
and also the market wasn't like awful.
I guarantee the house has probably been leveled.
Well, the electricity was not a house problem. It was a.
I know.
It was a.
it was
That's easy.
That's
Call the
easily
electric
fixed.
company. Say I am not venison, and I have good credit. And
Well,
Can we connect up again?
My
Send the guy
favorite thing
over
is,
with the
yeah.
with the big circuit breaker.
so what I don't understand is the whole thing with the electricity. He goes, well, it was under my parents' name, and they won't let me put it in my name now. And I'm like, that's BS. If your name is on the house, it goes to your name. Excuse me.
Well,
It does not
yeah.
go to your parents' name.
Well,
That's
the problem was is that Venison was living in the house while it was under his parents' name. After his parents, like the whole estate wasn't settled, so the electric was never switched over to Venison's name, and it continued accruing debt because Venison was using the power. So Venison's argument was, it's in my parents' name, the estate should pay that. The estate said, you were the one living there, you were the one that used the power, and we gave you a chunk of change from the estate. That's your responsibility. So
you know
that-
what? It doesn't matter if it's in anybody
Yeah.
else's name. I can call right now, and they say, "What number would you like to pay?" And you can sit there and say, "I want this phone, this house, and I want to pay their electric bill." I can do it right now. If I wanted to, I could sit there and say, "Oh, this is Brian Blue's address. I'll pay your electricity this month," and it'd be done.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't that he couldn't pay. It wasn't that he couldn't pay because it was in the
No,
name. It was
it's
that he
'cause he
couldn't
didn't
pay
want
because he didn't have money. And when he
Yeah.
did have money, he didn't feel that it was his responsibility. He
It's
thought
'cause
the
he's-
estate
he
was
had
supposed to cover
a
that.
giant orange extension cord from his neighbor's house.
Well,
Why
we're
would
talking
you pay
about
electricity?
even before the extension cord came out, he refused to pay the bill because he thought the estate should pay it.
Dude,
That's
the
absurd.
boy pooped in a.
Because
the
remember,
boy
there
pooped
was
in
a period of
Folgers
time
can.
he had money. He signed up for cable and was paying a cable bill for a
He
number
was
of
paying the
months.
fiber, holy crap, cable bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And- but
the boy pooped in a can.
Well, there were that's the issues that make the house only worth $150,000
Because the backyard had tomatoes in the backyard.
The plumbing was turned off because there was leaky pipes, so he didn't have working or running plumbing in the house.
So he had no water, no electricity, no sewer.
Yeah, they turned off his electricity. They turned off his water too.
I guess the reason why he didn't have sewer is he didn't have running water. He probably could have just dumped a bucket of water into the. I don't know what he did for water though. I don't
Go to the
know.
neighbor's house and get a
Probably his
bucket of water.
neighbor's spigot.
All I remember was I asked if there was a bathroom I could use, and he said,
Oh.
"Yeah, about that. I need to empty it." And that's when I realized how long I could go holding it, which was
You know
longer
what?
than I thought.
I'll get the DeLorean. I'll go back in time. I'll tell you before you leave Damon's place, use the restroom because you
Yeah.
won't be able to do it.
Oh
over at
no! I went to
Venison's
Damon's place after Venison's place because the first thing I did when I got to Damon's place is, "Hi, Damon, nice to see you. Where's the bathroom?" Yeah.
Okay, before you hit Venison's place, I'm like, go hit a Wawa, go potty,
Yeah,
or a McDonald's because that's what you do at McDonald's. You go potty.
yeah.
Go potty first, and then go visit Venison. That's what I'll tell you to do. And you won't listen to me. You're like, why are you here, an adult? What?
Now, Dune writes in he got 0 and he could have had. Well, and that's the thing. I don't know at what point he could have had the 150 because he, in addition to not paying the electric because he felt the estate should pay that, he
Real
didn't pay
property
the
tax,
the
something more.
taxes because
Yeah.
he felt the estate should have paid that, and then he didn't have money, and so then that turned into a game of, let's find out how long someone can live in a house without paying their
And
taxes.
thank God for Hurricane Katrina, because that delayed things 3 years.
Well, he had a few delays. I mean,
Yeah.
he had a bad housing market that delayed things, so no one wanted to buy the house.
Yeah.
Because basically a lien gets put on the house, and at some point it went to some kind of auction. And then the other thing that helped him out was that the guy that bought it at the auction knocked on the door, found out that someone was living there, and never showed up again and stopped paying the mortgage. And so that set in motion waiting for that mortgage to foreclose and the bank to take ownership of the house before someone else showed up and said, okay, we got to get this guy out of this house so that we could, because the bank don't want to hold on to it. So yeah, that the guy that bought it at whatever, through whatever means from the lien and from Venison not paying taxes, bought Venison like another year or so by, taking out a mortgage, buying the house, and then stop paying the mortgage. And I don't know if it was a case of I didn't know there was a squatter there,
I find that
and
to be bizarre. There's a
Yeah.
lien on the house. They sell it to you.
Mhm.
You show up to the house, and there's a person living in there.
Right.
Wouldn't that be the bank's responsibility to evict
No.
the guy that's living in there?
No.
That's absurd.
There's
You're selling bad goods.
Well, that's where you have things like squatters' rights that are different state laws that could make things complicated to
understand
go
that,
through
which is stupid.
an eviction process, and the bank's not gonna do that. Whoever buys the property, that's on you. You want you to use your property, you got to go through
They own
whatever.
the property. See, banks are bad property managers.
They're not
Period.
property managers.
Oh, I know.
That's
Period.
not what they're in the business of.
I know it. I know it.
You,
But they
you-
lose a ton of money on houses that are foreclosed on.
I mean, that's part of why that's part of what sets the value or what someone's willing to pay on a house. Because if it comes with the job of evicting someone, you're going to take that into account when you're bidding. So yeah, basically, or bought the house. I don't know if it wasn't disclosed or he didn't realize Venison was living there, or if he did and he thought this be easy, and then he comes face to face with him and is like, I can't do this. Or if he just didn't have the money. We never knew what the deal was. All we know is one time
So
a guy knocked on his door
so
and
note
then he
to
never
self.
saw him again.
Note to self.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy a foreclosed property, go to the house first to make sure it's actually empty.
Well,
Right?
Well, you should do
And then you
research
should
on
bid on
any major purchase like that you're going to make. You should absolutely do research.
I mean, honestly, I think it depends on how hungry Venison was the day the guy came to visit.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
I mean,
Never heard from him again.
right. I mean, and that it's a fucked up situation. There's lots of different feelings or
Yeah.
ways you could look at it.
Yeah.
But when people have squatters' rights for going into homes they had no business going into, and all of a sudden now they have rights there, someone who lived in the house and fell behind the payments and lost it, they're going to have more rights than the person that just broke in and squatted. I mean, that's just
Sure.
and
I'm
however
just
you
saying-
feel about that's how you feel about that. But
I'm just saying, Gators,
yeah.
if someone squats in my condo while I'm here, they have to sleep at some point.
they
That's
do.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I do have a lead pipe in my place,
Well,
and I know how to set fires.
Well, it
So-
becomes a problem
Yeah.
when someone's got like a vacation house that they don't get to, or
Uh-huh.
if a family member goes into care and the house sits vacant for a period of time,
Mm-hmm.
and then you want to like get the house on the market or something, and you find out someone let themselves in, set up shop, treating it like their home, and then they get all outraged when you're like, dude, get out of my house. It's like, I live here,
Oh.
my house.
like I say,
It's a
they
bad
have to sleep-
situation.
they have to sleep at some point, Gators.
They right, but
Mm-hmm.
they also usually people that squat like that change the locks, and then
Oh, you think the lock's gonna stop me?
well
I like that. I like that.
there
Really think the
are
lock's gonna
Oh,
stop
that's
me.
funny.
there are you have to go through it, like as Dune said, it's really effed up. It becomes a civil matter and it sucks. I mean,
Oh.
that's, you can't, even though you own the property, you could be in violation of laws breaking into your own house to evict people that have squatted there long enough to have squatters' rights.
I'm not evicting them. They'll evict themselves when I'm done.
Uh,
Just saying. Just saying. Because guess what, Gators? Think of it this way: I either put the house on the market. Think of it this way: I put the house on the market, and if I can't do it, I maybe I have fire insurance.
Well, you don't want to say that too loud on a recorded show that
I don't own any. I don't own any of the property. I don't own property, so that's fine. I don't care.
You can never do that now.
Hypothetically.
You can never do that now.
Gators, would you look at me? Do you really think I would set fire to anybody else's house? Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
We kid. We
But
joke.
like I said, there's a way to get your money.
Dune writes in, the truth is, in Jersey, $100, that house is cleared.
Yeah. And that's probably what's happening. They probably got rid of it.
Well, what happened was the bank just gave Venison money to leave peacefully, quietly.
Hey,
is
he
what
finally
they
ended
did.
up in a decent apartment. I'm gonna
Right.
say, yeah. And he had
Yeah.
electricity and everything else. I don't know why he didn't do that to begin with. It would have made so much sense.
Well, he had to leave his home and a lot of his possessions behind. It was a
Yeah.
painful
It was very
transition,
painful for him,
but
yeah.
it was a transition that needed to happen that he would never have made voluntarily.
And I would have never bought any of his stuff. It was smoke induced, so I would not
yeah.
touch his stuff. So his radio, his Kenwood, I would have bought in a heartbeat. I would have paid $500 for that thing, no problem. That thing was so full of smoke. I bet I'm like, no, I wouldn't even touch it. Would not even touch it.
Well, I loved that he had because that's the other thing, when he got the settlement from the settling of the estate.
Yeah.
He signed up for cable. He bought a TV. I think he might have still had electricity at that point, because then he had the LCD TV propped on top of the old console TV.
No, he didn't have plasma. Did he have plasma?
It was one of those flat TVs. I don't know if it was,
Yeah.
but I thought it was LCD. I don't know. Somewhere I got a picture.
I know
of
he
it.
got a good sound system.
Oh yeah, but then I think something went wrong with that. Wasn't there like a flood or something that happened? Or
His basement flooded.
and I guess maybe the speakers were there. I don't
know.
I don't remember. I don't. By the time I visited him, I don't think he had a sound system like that anymore.
Oh,
It was. I thought something happened to that, or maybe he was limiting the power he used. I don't know.
I don't know.
I just remember. Oh, the other funny thing was, that's right. For years, he was leeching off of whatever Wi-Fi he can find in his neighborhood, and then he found out that his neighbors that hooked him up with the power had Wi-Fi service or internet service through their cable package, but they never hooked it up or used it. They were just paying for it as part of the package deal.
Yeah.
So Venison, out of the kindness of his heart, helped them set it up. And all of a sudden, Venison didn't have problems leeching off of Wi-Fi, because someone bought him like a Wi-Fi antenna that he had set up in a tree out of his window.
It was said one. We set him up. We hooked him up and we got him a really decent Wi-Fi antenna. He stuck it up in a tree with a blue light that blinked, and it was a pretty nice little thing. But we set him up with that, and he just
Because for a while he would have to do the show sitting in like a lawn chair at the end of his driveway near the trash cans.
He would bring his PC out on the driveway.
And every show when he did that, we would introduce him with this song.
Yes.
Oh, I love trash.
Yes.
Anything dirty or dingy or dusty.
Because he was sitting there out by the trash cans with his laptop leeching the Wi-Fi.
He used the trash can as the thing for his keyboard and his monitor.
That's right. He had the trash can. He had everything set up on the trash can.
Thank God. Thank God. Later on, when his computer died, Dune gave him a laptop. That was amazing.
Yeah, Dune sent him a laptop. I sent him a laptop. Dune sent him a laptop. I was pissed off actually a little bit.
He goes, it doesn't work.
Because I sent him a Dell laptop, a E-Wasted Tharkos Special, thoroughly wiped, set to its default setting with a brand new clean Windows 7 install on it.
He wanted XP on it.
Which the hardware was designed for 7.
Yes.
It worked fine in 7. I went to the trouble to set up a working 7 install on this laptop and ship it out to him.
Guess what? I'm nuking that.
He nuked it, put XP on it, and starts asking me why it's not working right.
Oh my gosh!
Why were you reinstalling Windows? It was set up. No, I want
The boy was awesome. You know what? I love Denison. He was
Yeah.
a lot of fun to listen
Oh,
to.
yeah.
He brought a lot of radio stations together. He did a lot of good. He really did.
He was one of those guys that stayed friends with everyone somehow throughout it all.
And he basically, if there was a station with some drama, he talked to him. He had no problem with that. He had no problem, and he saved a lot of things. He kept stations together, not arguing. He did a lot of good, but also he was a little bit of a leech as well. So it's okay.
Well,
it's okay. We all have our faults.
He failed to find a method of income that he deemed acceptable, which is something we gave him a lot of crap for from time to time.
Yeah.
But you can only give so much crap.
He's like, why aren't you just giving me money in the mailbox?
Well, one of the funny things I remember, which parts of this are infuriating, but it's got a good punchline, because he was talking about how in the wake of the financial crisis, there was supposed to be a lot of loan and grant programs to help people get back on their feet. But the truth of the matter is that, you know, basically any bad loan options were off the table, because it was bad loans that contributed heavily to the mess we were in at that point. So no one was going to give a loan to anyone that had no income. It's plain and simple, wasn't it? And I don't know.
Wasn't planning on getting a job anytime soon.
No, he was planning on getting a loan to give him time to get on his feet, to take some training, and in 6 months' time, if he can't get trained and he can't get a job and get to a point that he can start paying off the loan, then something's wrong. That was what he had in his mind. And then here was the other thing that I was like, are you for real? Because he was like, but the first thing I got to do, I mean, going through this process, I need a vacation. And he was going to go to Disney World.
That's not cheap.
He'd get this big loan. He'd go to Disney World, have a vacation, pay for training, train on IT computer stuff, and then go get a job and pay off the loan. That was his plan.
Oh, does he know how much Disney World costs?
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. He knows a guy that could get him a good deal on e-tickets.
E-tickets were around.
E-tickets have been around since before I was born. And he was absolutely like he said, I know a guy that could get me a good deal on e-tickets. And I'm like,
he might know a good guy. Good. He might know someone that'll give him some e-tickets. They're gonna be worthless, but he might know someone.
Did I hear that right? Are you actually referring to the old ticketing system from before I was born? And he's like, right. Yeah. And I said, e-tickets? And he said, yeah, because all the big rides require the e-tickets. And I'm like, dude, that system's... No, that's not how it works at all.
Boy, that boy cracked me up.
Oh man, I
just cracked me up.
Somewhere I might have that recording.
I just don't know. I just don't know what to think about that boy. We love the venison, but don't worry. I'm sure he's spending lots of free e-tickets.
Oh, he's got all the e-tickets.
He got all the e-tickets right now.
All right, I take it back. They did still have e-tickets when I was born. They didn't get rid of e-tickets until June of 1982. I was off by a few years there, but still, it had been over 20 years at that point.
Mod Pro was not even gleaming her mama's eye at the time.
Oh, that was I kid, but that I remember as one of the funniest moments of venison. When he's like, "Yeah, I got a deal on e-tickets." I'm like, "Don't give that guy any money." Don't.
Yeah, he would have done it. He said, "I just gave him $1,000. I have $1,000 in e-tickets for Disney World. Let's go."
Because a Disney World admission used to be a ticket book, and if you have a ticket book that's intact, I remember
that as a kid. We used to have that ticket book as a kid.
If you have an intact ticket book that hasn't been used, they will accept that as a day pass to go into the park. They'll actually void out all the coupons and totally ruin a valuable collectible relic.
I don't know. You think you could buy it on eBay and you just sell it on eBay and get the money to buy your Week at Disney.
Somewhere on YouTube is a video of someone doing that with lots of comments of people going, "No, why would you do that?"
They probably had two of them.
Well, they probably made more on the clicks and on the video.
Dude does have a link, apparently.
Okay, Dune's got a link everyone needs to save to watch later. Okay. All right. We'll check out your link. Did he clip me saying? Did I say something stupid again? Oh, it's much like what we are describing. Oh, okay. It's a situation like okay. All right. Let's see how long this is and see if we can. All right. This is an hour. This is an hour-long video. Oh, this is that documentary. Dune's talked about this documentary before. This is the documentary where they gave a homeless guy a briefcase full of cash, and he blew it all. And we watch him blow it all.
Oh.
And there are certainly some parallels there. Venison did not take advantage of trying to get
If
himself.
someone gave him a briefcase full of cash, what would Venison do?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Venison didn't exactly get a briefcase full of cash. He got a lump of money that could have helped him get on his feet, but even so, it was probably enough to pay off some bills and still be stuck in the house that he needed to get income is what he needed.
Do you remember what he did? The first thing he did when he got that lump of money? Do you remember?
He got the cable.
No, that wasn't the first thing.
What was the first thing?
The first thing is he went to the store and bought the good vodka.
Okay.
He goes, I went and got some good vodka and a couple steaks. And I'm like, oh, okay. You enjoyed that. He's like, I'm going to do a show, and it is going to be good tonight. Oh.
And Dune writes in, he starts off with all the plans, and they all just go poof. And
right.
and unfortunately, I think that's what would have happened with Venison if he just got a loan. If he got a loan, he had a hard road ahead of him.
It would
either
be
way,
really hard to dig himself out of that. Honestly, what I would have done, I said, the bank's giving me a lump of money for my place. Here's my stuff. Here's my place. I know I can't get that. I would try to save as much as I could, especially like photo albums and stuff like that, or family. And then I would just, I would go to an apartment and say, this is my life for now, until I can get things going.
And I gave him a hard time a few times, but I didn't do it all that much because dude was a friend. I could give my advice, but
he was a friend. He made you laugh.
If I'm a nag, then that's going to impact our friendship. And I can't change what was happening. But my big thing to him, because when he was saying like, "There's no one to buy the house, you can't get the house, you can't," I basically said to him, "No, this isn't a yes or no question. This is a how much question. How much can you get for the house?" Because if
not your inflated numbers, sir.
If you list it for $5, someone's gonna give you $5. So this isn't a question of if it would sell or not. This is a question of how much can you get for it. That is the question you need to know the answer to. But he never looked at it that way. He saw that, and I get it. He's got an emotional attachment to this house that none of us had.
Yeah, because it was his family's house.
It was the homestead. He constantly referred to it as the homestead.
Yeah, he lived there for over 40 years at the time.
Yeah. He wasn't.
I completely understand that.
He wasn't going to walk away from that unless he absolutely had to, and that's what ultimately happened.
Did the estate ever get settled?
The estate got settled. He was never happy with how it got settled. Because they settled it. They left him responsible to deal with the electrical debt that was in his parents' name because it was him that accrued that. They left him with the house even though they didn't want to. They gave him a chunk of money that he used to pay cable bills and food and things, and that dried up. And his family, I don't know if it's his family stopped speaking to him or he stopped speaking to them, although he did have family members that cared very much and came out when he was in the hospital his last days to care for him and see him through
Well,
you
I know his aunt that lived
Right.
down the way was the one that was dealing with the estate and paying off stuff before he fought him.
Right.
And so when he fought them, they go, "Okay, here's the money for it." And the aunt says, "Okay, then you're paying for everything. Bye."
right.
She basically said, "Okay, you want to deal with this? I don't have to anymore. Here."
They wanted to get him out of the house
Yeah.
and sell the house because they knew he couldn't afford the house.
Yeah, exactly.
And he refused, and so they basically just said, "Okay, fine. You take that and the debt that comes with it. Here's your cut. Good day." And
Yeah.
he bitched and moaned that what they did was illegal, and I don't know the finer details of what
Oh
happened.
yeah, we really don't. know the ins
I
and outs
really
of this.
don't
We
know.
really
I
don't
do
know.
think
Yeah.
Venison, I was always a little. Sometimes maybe I question it a little too much because whenever he would go off on it, I'd be like, "Come on, Venison, you really shouldn't have stayed in that house." not that I'd say it that directly, but I kind of felt like they had a point. But
I mean,
also,
technically, what
Yeah.
he could have done, and I was thinking about this at one point, what he could have done, taken some of that lump sum money, stick all his crap, get him put him in pods, and send him to another place, or put him in storage or something for that. So at least he could have done that. He wouldn't have had to do anything. He could have paid someone.
well,
to
that
pod
would still
stuff up.
accrue debt. And then he'd lose all that to a storage.
Yeah, it would have been
auction.
less debt than he owed on the house.
It would have been. He needed to. Well, I mean, really, the thing he needed to do was he needed to find a source of income. He absolutely needed to. Well, the other thing was that's right. He lost his car at some point because he had a car,
He lost his license.
He lost his license,
He said it was
and-
DMV's problem.
and
I
then they
don't
took
know,
the. Did they take the car away, or he just stopped driving it?
No, they took the car.
So he got caught driving without a license, and they took his
Yes.
they
Yes,
impounded
They
it.
impounded it, and he
And-
never got it out because he didn't have the money to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So once he lost that restricted any job opportunities to
So-
whatever's in walking distance or commutable
Yeah, because he
by
wouldn't
mass
walk around the
transit.
neighborhood. He wouldn't walk around the neighborhood. He didn't want to do transit. He bought a bike. He actually got a bike. And I'm like, oh, that's great. You can bike places now. He goes, oh, that's a lot of work. Oh, okay. Sure. It's kind of
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that is.
Yeah. It's a lot of work to bike, but not bad because
Yeah,
apparently things work that
you
far
blew
from
the car option.
Now-
you
now, Gage,
you run out that clock.
You knew
know.
his neighborhood. You know where he lived, right?
Right.
What were things really that far away from him?
Plainfield's I'm not familiar with their local economy. I've known I have a story about Plainfield.
Oh.
My drinking buddies I hung out with, one of the guys was a guy by the name of Josh. And one day, I don't know, Pete and Jim were busting my balls, and I got all upset. And Josh said, don't worry about them. Hey, come here. Let's go. Screw them. We'll go walk this way. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I need a ride. Can you give me a ride? I got a friend in Plainfield I owe some money to.
Oh
And,
no! I don't know about that ride. Did the hair on your neck just stand up and say,
Yeah, so I drive to Plainfield, and he's
I'm driving to Playfield anyway.
so next thing I know, I'm driving him to Plainfield, and he's like, over here, turn the corner, and there's a bunch of sketchy looking guys. I don't know what drug dealers look like, but anyways, he's like, yeah, these are the guys. So I kept driving past the corner and said, I'm parking down the street. You're walking
You're
out to
walking
them.
down there. I'm staying in the car.
I'm staying. You go.
If I
and
don't
some-
see you in an hour, I'm leaving. Or 20 minutes, I'm leaving. Bye.
Yeah, he was, in and out. It was like 5-10 minutes. He comes running back to the car, jumps in and says, go, go, go. And I don't know if he was just messing with me or what, but I
You know
got
what?
the fuck out of there.
Even if he was messing with you, that's a good bet. That's good. I would have done this. I would go, 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 go.
So mind you, that was kind of right around the corner from where the train station is. Venison wasn't far from the train station. He was in a neighborhood that looked okay, but I don't know my way around towns like that. And Plainfield is a town that there's some good areas, there's some bad areas. So Venison always described it as a good area, but it's also, he's familiar with it. He knows it. So I don't know on what scale that's good. I don't. I can't really judge that very well. I felt comfortable visiting him in the day in the neighborhood there. So, yeah, it was probably okay. But, yeah. But, you know, it was a source of entertainment week by week watching this unfold along with him for the ride.
Oh yeah. Simulcasting like 3 to 4 stations at once.
The only thing I can't help but wonder is whoever found the thermos.
Oh, of the mushroom soup.
The cream of mushroom soup. Apparently, he lost a thermos of cream of mushroom soup somewhere in the house. And
You found it on Zillow?
Dune asking if I have the address. I'd have to do some looking. Oh, wait. Actually, I do have the address because remember we bought him presents on Amazon. So I had his shipping address.
Oh, yes. Did you buy a coffee table book?
Yeah, I bought him a book on how to be black. What I bought him. And we also bought him a joke of like a joke book of like lame white people jokes or something like that. I don't.
I mean, if you can't mess with venison, I don't know.
Oh, he loved it. He absolutely loved it. Oh, there we go. How to Be Black, ordered on December 12th, 2012. We got that for Christmas 2012. Let's view the order details. Oh, there we go. So that's yeah. Okay.
13 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to like throw that in the chat, but I could throw that over to Dune. And I'm going to also throw it over into Zillow. And well, Dune would have the address too, though. But anyways, maybe he lost it along the way. But yeah.
He forcefully accidentally lost it.
Because Dune sent him there is a Zillow listing, and all right, so it's got it only has a picture of the outside of the house, the Zillow entry for
Is
that
it
address.
currently available or?
No, but like if you search for addresses in Zillow,
Sure.
That data is still available. Like you can still pull up the pictures of my house from when it was listed on Zillow.
But just the exterior, typically.
Yeah, if it was ever listed with interior pictures, they would still be there. But it looks like it only got listed with an external picture, or it was never listed through online websites. Because it could be
every house nowadays is.
Yeah, but there are some houses that were last sold. Let's see. Date on market June 3rd, 2022. Oh, so it was on the market in 2022, according to this.
Yeah, that's not bad. So the person who bought it got it from Venice and basically resold it.
And the estimated sale range is $552,000 to $654,000. So it is in the range that Venison claims. Let's see. It's sold June 2nd for $430,000. It sold April 12th of 2019 for $345,000.
Okay, so that was when Venison was still around then.
So in
2019.
Well, he wasn't in the house though. When did he leave the house?
Was it It was before 2020. It was before. It was right. It was right. Oh no! It would have been right before COVID, huh?
I don't know. I thought it was more before. I don't know. You know what?
It was COVID was 2019, right?
So 345 must be after it sold after they took him out.
Yeah.
Because there's no other history.
No, he didn't get any of that. It was after he left. So he left. He probably left that in 2018.
Could be. So
he left.
So they sold it to in 2019, 345. Probably a flipper or someone that was going to fix it up.
Probably.
Although holding it for 3 years with a flipper is a long time to hold a house that you're paying a mortgage on.
Well,
so
unless they're sitting there fixing it up at the time, that 3 years is about what it might take. Because I heard the floors are soft and a bunch of other things are messed up in that place. So.
Yeah, but if you're gonna, if they flipped it from 345 to 430, that's.
It's not very much. They're not getting very much.
For 3 years of work, that's not. No, I think I don't. Yeah, I don't know what the
Maybe the bank got
that
it,
that math ain't
and then-
mathin'.
Yeah, maybe the bank got it and just sold it after that. I don't know.
Maybe someone bought it as a fixer-upper and kept it for a few years and then sold it for a little bit more. I don't know, or maybe it was a slim margin flip. I don't know.
Does it say 5 something or as is? It
I-
says as is, and you know they didn't do jack.
They just have years and prices. It's
Okay.
just from public record, I guess.
Oh, interesting.
But
so
yeah,
someone's living there now, then maybe.
apparently, someone bought it in 2022. So it was. Oh wait. When was it last on the? I thought. Let me check that again.
You said 2023 was when I thought.
Let me see. It was it's built in 1931.
Yeah, it was an old house.
It yeah. Let's see. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, no, it
put another
2019,
link in there,
2022 is when it sold, but I thought there was somewhere where it listed when it was last on the market recently. That I read.
Okay, dude just posted a link in chat.
Okay.
He said, "Look at the scary pic."
All right, let's see. That is yeah, that's the same picture of the outside of the house. I don't think that's necessarily yeah, so last sold on June 2nd, 2022 for $430,000. So someone's owned it since 2022 and they're the second hands to have ownership of it since venison was removed. So I don't know if the first one was they fixed it up and stayed there a few years, or they took a few years to fix it up and flipped it for a small profit.
Oh, dude added another picture to it.
Okay,
He says that picture.
that pic. Okay, that oh yeah, that is what it looked like when I went and visited.
I'm so sorry.
It was a bit of a jungle. He didn't have a I don't think he had access to a lawnmower.
That's
Wait a
sad
minute.
because there were some great streams he did back in the day where he would just mow the lawn.
I
He had
don't-
some lawn mowing episodes. It was great.
Those two pictures look like they're pictures of different houses, though. That's
Isn't that funny?
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, they really did some work on that house.
good.
Great.
But yeah, but I remember we bought him we bought him that How to Be Black. We bought him something about white people jokes, and then we bought him that cassette themed T-shirt. I think
There
that was a
you go.
Gothard find.
There
Like
you go.
a T Fury or something had a T-shirt with all cassette patterns on it that we bought him because he was a big fan of cassette tapes and thought that they sounded way better than CDs, which we
Yeah.
had many lengthy discussions about because
I went to sleep one night and I woke up the next day and you guys were still going about analog and digital. And I'm like, that's nice.
we bought him the in 2010 for Christmas. We bought him the book Stuff White People Like: A Definitive Guide to the Unique Taste of Millions.
You know, he'd probably try half that stuff already when you had given that book to him. You're
He,
like, "Yeah, I
he
like
was
that."
he was pretty white.
very
was
white.
he was
He was very white.
You are so hopelessly white.
That's what we
Yeah.
said to him all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. There's venison, all right.
Oh my God, man! Oh, how stereotypical Caucasian are you people?
I think it was things like that why we bought him that book.
You can tell the difference in the headset from before to that, to his microphone to his headset then.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Even the weakest and smallest of people will come out ahead with a good swift kick in the balls.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah. Yep. That was venison, all right.
I miss him.
It's okay. He's off doing something better now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably cooking a hot dog from the radar range on aboard ship.
Oh, that's right. That hot dog in the radar. Oh my god.
Hot dog in
yes.
the radar.
Yeah, when he was on the ships, he basically stuck. He would stick big sausages in the microwave antennas to cook them.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh god, boy, it was special.
Pretty funny.
That's a creative idea.
I mean, this antenna. I'm sure I could cook something. I can push out 50 watts through my antenna. That might cook something, but I don't know what.
It might. It might.
Might take
But
a
it's-
day.
But the problem is, it's about 2 feet away from my head right now, so I care not to put 50 watt through it. So
Well,
Right.
well, I remember when I was in like 6th, 7th grade, we would have a science fair every year. And one year, one of the projects that someone did was to build a hot dog cooker. And
Oh, those are so easy to make. Those are great.
yeah, but he made his AC instead of DC. As he had 2 nails and a board of wood, a power cable with the 2 wires stripped, 1 wire connected to each nail. So he put the hot dog on the 2 nails, plug it in, and just run AC power through the hot dog. So he's setting up this thing at the science fair, and he's going to cook a hot dog to demonstrate at the science fair. And the teacher's like, "You're not plugging that thing in. That is completely dangerous. There's no way we're letting you plug that in." And but the point is that he did the work. He demonstrated it worked at home, and he wrote up the report and the scientific method and everything. I don't know what the scientific method is for cooking a hot dog, but he had that done, so it didn't matter that he couldn't cook a hot dog at the science fair. But it kind of sucks that he couldn't cook a hot dog at the.
Gators, this is
so-
what you do. You make the whole thing right, but instead of AC, you take the same wires and you hook like 15 to 29 volt batteries together,
Well-
one end and the other, and just go.
Well,
And
what he
that-
ended up
that would give
doing,
you-
as we got later into the evening at the science fair, at some point someone else had a project that had a battery involved, and I think it was a 12 volt battery.
Oh, it's one of those
and-
big lantern batteries.
One of
or
those
something.
big
Oh.
lantern batteries. And so
Yeah.
at some point, I guess they were wrapping that up or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, hey, let's hook that up." And so he actually got some help, and they wired up his hot dog cooker to a 12 volt DC battery and cooked the hot dog on
Dude,
it
those
using
hot
that.
dogs gotta be kind of funky by the end of the thing.
It was only a few hours.
You ever leave a hot dog on a plate for a couple hours?
I don't know. I don't know if they ate it. They just cooked it.
Right.
Oh, I would hate it. I cooked it. I'd eat it. I'd probably die, but-
Dune sending us a TikTok link, so we got to go check
TikTok.
this out now.
The 1970 hot dog cooker. I guess it electrocutes the hot dogs and cooks them. Let's see if it works.
Oh, it's
If you don't do it right, it explodes the dog. By the way.
well, I got to it's asking me if I'm a robot while it's playing the video and blocking it.
Are you a robot?
I
I don't know.
maybe?
Let's ask the robot to answer the question.
Yeah.
All right, let's share the screen now. Now that I've proven I am not a robot, because robots can't identify that 2 A's are
Are
the
you
same
kidding?
shape.
AI's gonna just go, oh yeah, that's nice.
Well, I think a big part of it is monitoring how the act of answering the question, seeing if it's predictable.
I just don't go on TikTok. That's easy.
All right, so here's this old hot dog cooker that Dune sent us
The 1970 hot dog cooker. I guess it electrocutes the hot dogs and cooks them. Let's see if it works.
But yeah, it's similar to that, except this cooks more than one at a time, and that looks safe.
Should I get one of these?
Oh, there's some smoke in the house. One of them exploded, but
So I
yeah,
should definitely get a hot dog cooker.
I think we should all go looking at
Alexa,
eBay for these.
How much is a hot dog cooker?
The top result is Nostalgia Extra Large Diner Style Steamer 20 hot dogs and 6 bun capacity. It's $37.99.
Ask Alexa if a hot dog's a sandwich.
Alexa, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No matter how you slice the bun, a hot dog is technically a sandwich.
Oh,
No matter, it's got a little humor with that.
yeah,
No matter
yeah,
how you slice the bun,
Yeah.
yeah.
wicked.
There you go.
There you go. I'm impressed it actually picked it.
But-
Well, it is right behind the mic.
But the thing I always remember about the science fair was he had one job and he fucked it up. So I've told this story before, and I'll probably tell it again. And I don't exactly come off great in this story because I was a little awkward when it came to attractions of the females when I was in grade school and high school and college and adulthood and today and
I was gonna
tomorrow
I was going to say, and today.
Don't worry, Gators. Your time will come. Your time will come. Don't worry.
no, I got it all covered. I got the whole marriage thing working out, and you know, but
Yeah.
You have up to 2 cats, a wife, and a house. Do you need anything else? You're living the American dream.
I am
With the basement.
Oh,
With a basement.
and a car.
Oh,
And
do
a
you,
car.
do you have one car or 2 cars now?
one car.
So you got rid of the other.
Right. Yeah. So anyways, I kind of had a little crush on this girl that was in the grade above me, and she wanted nothing to do with me. And she delivered that message to me via mother.
That means go away. My mom says no.
Well, her mother was a teacher at the school.
Oh.
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
And well, we had a school dance, and I might have asked her to dance a few times, and I might have taken a picture of her because I was taking pictures of people. I had my camera at the time. I always brought my camera to school functions, take pictures, and because I was into that because I had a camera. It was cool. I could take pictures. I get the film developed, get my pictures back.
You just had a Super 8 camera then, Gators.
No, I had a Super 8 camera, but it was broken and I didn't have film for it. So I had my parents' old disc camera. They still
Hey,
made
those are
disc
great.
film.
I
back
love my
then,
disc camera.
which this is important to the story. You got 15 pictures in the disc, and the way it worked is that if you kept advancing past the 15th picture, it would keep going around, and you could double expose if you weren't like watching what you were doing. The camera would let you do stupid
I did
shit
that.
like that.
I did that many times. It's fun.
So I had brought the camera to like the Halloween party. I wanted to dance with her. She wanted nothing to do with me. She was totally put off and disgusted that I liked her, and I think I managed to get her in frame on one of my pictures, and this greatly offended her. And so next morning, I'm standing by the door, so that because all right, this is another part of my creepy routine, and I meant well by all this. I knew that she would come out the door at some point in the morning, and I wanted to hold the door open for her. So I'd wait for her in the morning by the door so I could hold the door open for her.
Not
And
creepy at all.
thank you. It was very well-meaning, but the problem was she didn't want me to hold the door open for her. So there was that. So I'm standing there by the door, waiting for her to come out, and her mother, who taught there, grabbed me from behind and said in a very angry tone, "Get over here," grabbed me by the shoulder, and everyone else standing around me knew what this was about because they knew I was standing there to hold the door open for her. They knew that she wanted nothing to do with me, and they knew that was her mother, and they knew that there was one likely reason she would be mad at me. And so they were all laughing their asses off as she takes me aside and reads me the riot act.
I have to tell you, I probably would have laughed too. No offense, Gators. No offense.
I
would have
don't
laughed too.
I don't hold it against them that they laughed at me for that. I hold it against them all the teasing and
Oh, I wouldn't have teased you afterward. I just would have. I would have laughed my ass off when her mom
Just in
came out
general.
to take you aside. But otherwise, I wouldn't have teased you after. That would have been wrong.
I was
But
a social
otherwise-
outcast, so they were
Yeah.
not
Oh,
exactly
don't worry. I think
nice
there
to
are a
me.
lot of social outcasts in comedy.
So
in
they got a
elementary
good
school.
old laugh at my expense that day while she read
I mean- Gators,
Yeah.
you have to admit, if you were in the same position as the others and you knew someone was being a creep, and mom came by to take it, you would have said, you would have,
Yeah.
you would have snickered.
Dune writes in, he could have been the next big thing. He was crushed, and he went to work as a Walmart greeter. There you Pretty much. Is there any? There's nothing creepy about that. People make a living opening the doors for people. There was nothing creepy about this.
Wait,
There
at
was,
Walmart, don't the doors open by themselves, though?
and then they ask you if you'd like a buggy.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Oh,
So
Although my Walmart doesn't have a person that's at that door as you come in.
that's
anymore.
sad.
I don't know why.
that is it, because
It's
usually.
a person at the exit because they're looking to make sure you're not stealing something.
Not
Not that they can do anything about it because they've been sued before.
and
They're just there to make you nervous.
Oh, Dune said that was for the nail dog, dude. Okay, so the point is that she reads me the riot act to, stay the fuck away from her daughter because she don't want me going around her, and and I all I could think about was I felt like I was standing crooked. I'm like, am I standing straight? I feel crooked. Is it because I'm in sheer terror right now? Or am I crooked? Should I straighten up this way? That's all I could really think about as she's reading me the riot act is, am I standing crooked or do I just feel like I'm standing crooked? So eventually she finishes reading me the riot act, and then she wonders why I steered clear of her for the rest of my time at that school. The teacher and the daughter.
Now, Gators, did you ask the teacher if she was free? Afterward, I'm like, yeah, well, if your daughter's not free, are you?
No.
You didn't ask her?
No. Although things got awkward when my mom started teaching at the school and became friends with her. So
Oh, my God! Gators, why is there not a soap opera about your life, honestly?
because I'm not a writer.
Oh, my God.
So anyways, so at this point, I still have a crush on this girl, but I've been forbidden from. I basically have a restraining order against her.
Just a school one, not a legal one.
Yeah, not a legal restraining order, but a more of a, if I don't want to be humiliated in front of the entire school again, I need to steer clear. So
self-restraining,
right,
not told by a teacher or a counselor.
But she was a teacher though, and word would get to her, and if so I'm basically. So at some point, I'm at the science fair, and I got my camera, and I got my brand new disc of film in there. I take a picture of my science fair project. I think that was the year I did the one about the effect of sounds on the rate of growth of bean plants. And I grew some nice bean plants, and then I planted them in the backyard, and then the deer ate them all. So I got nothing for my...
Hey, this is something that deer like, is your conclusion, right?
Yeah, that was my that was after the science fair that we planted them outside. But for the science fair, I actually had these little cups with dirt with bean plants, and there were 5 that I grew without exposing them to a pulsing sound, and 5 I grew with exposing them to a pulsing sound. And the ones that were exposed to the pulsing sound did grow up at a faster, higher rate than the others. The point is that because of my nature, I don't know why this doesn't make sense to me anymore, but at the time, this is a big deal to me, is I wanted to get a picture of her science fair project because I still liked her, and I wanted to get a picture. I thought it was kind of cool to see what her science fair project was and get a picture of it, a little memento of I don't know. It made sense at the time, but I didn't want to dare walk over to her science fair project because A, she was probably going to be nearby that science fair project, and B, if I was seen taking a picture of her science fair project, she might, turn me into her mother for taking pictures of her project, and that being creepy and creeping her out, and then I get the riot act again. So I recruited Genocide Rob to borrow my camera and take a picture of her science fair project.
And he was not creepy at all.
That's all he had to do. All he had to do. Now, mind you, at this point, I had one.
So we ended up with your camera being confiscated.
No.
Oh, okay.
So at this point, I had one picture left on this disc of film. So I said, don't take any other pictures. There's only one picture left. You go over there, you take the picture, you give me the camera back. That's all you do. Don't be goofing around. Be discreet. Just take only one picture. So he's out there playing around with the camera. He points it at someone, snaps a picture, and I'm like, Rob, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, I got it. He advances the picture. He points the camera at the project. He takes the picture. And that's how I ended up with a double exposure of my brother in a suit on the day of his first communion and this girl's science fair project.
You know what? It's an homage right there.
It's
Now, depending on the science fair project, it would be pretty funny.
It was about TV viewing. She had this like cardboard box TV thing with paper towel holders that would scroll different and so it had like the MTV logo that was colored in there. But I think it had something to do with TV viewing habits or I don't even know. I couldn't read the thing. I couldn't hang out there long enough to read the thing, but it had something to do with TV.
No, Gators. This is why you do. You post that and you do a meme and put underneath it, "Future TV evangelist."
That picture's
Right there.
long gone. Long
sad.
gone. Dune writing in, Johnny, I have a new goal. I'm going to find a friend with a badass 4-speed car to borrow and teach you how to do a big, nasty,
I
smoky
approve.
burnout in it.
I
You will then
approve.
jump in, pop car, shred the tires, get out and say, it pulls a bit to the right. That will fix you.
You know what? Dude. I will do a burnout for you. I can do burnouts. I know how.
Yeah, if I jump into one of my dad's cars and do a burnout, that's like the last thing I do.
Did you ever do a burnout with studded tires?
I don't do burnouts, but so no.
Mars, did you ever do that?
Studded tires? No.
What's really cool about that? It puts out a lot of sparks.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
In fact, I did that on the college campus, and the scrape marks were on that pavement for months.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, I don't understand how me learning how to do a burnout fixes me. Or
You just got to do it at least once, Gator. Seriously.
but what does that have to do with any of this?
You know what? It's a life choice. You have to do it at least.
So the
once.
next time when I get pulled aside on the school playground and get screamed at, I should hop into a car and do a burnout to get the hell out of there.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta go do a burnout now.
See what you should have done. You should have done that when you're at the ghost tree.
That
Oh, burnout
is
in
what.
the ghost tree.
Well,
After you worked it all out with the cop, everything's cool.
well, Gothard was behind the wheel there. He would have needed to do the.
Oh God,
Gothard-
you know Gothard's done a burnout. You know he has.
Well, he
Come
didn't
on.
do one that night.
No,
he didn't.
I'm
He
surprised he
didn't
did
do
that,
one when we
actually.
needed it.
I guarantee you, he's probably done at least one burnout. I guarantee you.
We really needed a burnout, and he just didn't have it in him.
What he
and-
does, he does a burnout, and then when the cop pulls over, he says, "But Johnny was pushing on my accelerator pedal."
Yeah, that's totally.
He's walking home from here.
No, the cop came around and had us off in front and just cut us off right in front of us, veered right towards us and cut us right off. It would have been, we would have had to have, I guess we could have maybe burned out around him, but he that would not have been a good thing.
You know.
Dune writes in, you have a vid of you in that car. Can you imagine how cool that would have been had you turned towards the cam and just lit the fuse?
Gators.
Nah.
I-
That's
I
big dick
guarantee
stuff
you.
there.
I guarantee you, get that Chevelle shit set up. You can do a burnout in that. I guarantee you, can do a burnout in
That car is that ain't a burnout car. That's a get you to church and back on Sunday car.
No, that it's a Chevelle, dude.
That's
It'll
what that
burn.
car has done.
It'll give you a burnout. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I don't know about that. I don't think it's even going to start, to be honest.
Well, probably just needs a new battery, right?
Yeah. Among other things.
You know, a little bit of brake clean down the app, and you can probably start it.
Well, I'll be down there next weekend, so I guess I could broach the topic of, Dune still wants to buy your car.
You know what? You say, hey, do you mind? Do you think that Chevelle out there, you think it'll ever do a burnout? What do you think?
Absolutely.
You know what? I guarantee your dad would look at you and say, I bet you back in the day he'd have no problem doing that. No problem. That Chevelle, no problem.
I don't know.
Now I don't know. Maybe he'd be like, I'm proud of you. Let's do a burnout in the Chevelle. Let's go.
Or you just say, Dad, let's take a ride in your car. You know, this is a big deal, and you can show me how to do a burnout.
Yeah.
I don't want to know how to do a burnout.
Gators, your dad.
I don't want to do a burnout.
Gators,
Or Johnny wants you to learn how to do a burnout.
I don't want to do a
Your
burnout.
Your dad's cool
Dune
like that.
does.
Your dad's cool like that. He'd
Mars
show
does.
you how to do a burnout. No problem.
I don't want to do a burnout.
Do you want me to go? I'll go down there and visit. Yo, Gator's dad. Let's go. I want to figure out. Let's get that Chevelle running. I'm gonna do burnout. I'll go show Gators up. Let's go. Come on. I know you're cool like that. Let's go.
Hey,
Yeah, I
Dad,
don't
brought a
think your
bride
dad
friend
would
with
turn me
me.
down. I
He wants to
don't
do a
think your dad-
burnout in the Chevelle. Let's
Gators-
get it going.
Gators, I don't think your dad would turn me down. And he'd be like, you know what? That car ain't doing nothing. Let's do a burnout.
I think he might.
Yeah. He would say, you know what? That car ain't doing nothing. Let's do a burnout. Come on. Let's get going.
I don't know about
What do
that.
you think, dude? What do you think? You think Gator's dad would say, yo, that's cool. Let's do
You
a
all
burnout.
don't know my dad.
You know what? You know what? He's about ready to be done with tax season. He's gonna want to do something.
Yeah, sleep.
Or do a burnout. Honestly.
No, he's about ready to burn out.
Gators, anybody that collects those cool cars gotta know how to do a burnout. Seriously.
I don't doubt he knows how to do a burnout.
Yeah.
But I think he's the only person allowed to do burnouts on his cars.
I didn't say his car, I said the Chevelle.
That's one of his cars.
Yeah, but he don't give a crap about that one.
He absolutely does give a crap about it, just not enough to drive it.
I thought you said it wasn't running.
I don't.
If it's not running, does he care?
He cares enough to keep it.
Okay.
Or he just hasn't bothered to sell it.
There's that too. Because he's probably not going to get $1 if he sells it.
And Dune asks, why is he still working?
You know that's his choice. That's his.
Yeah.
He's got.
Yeah.
He's the man with a plan, and I think he's kind of looking towards wrapping things up in the upcoming years, and I think he's still trying to figure that out. But that's his stuff to figure
does he
out.
have a staff that's working for him, or is he on his own?
He's pretty much on his own. Sometimes he might have. I think sometimes my stepmom helps him out some. He'll have like a family member help him out during tax season, but the rest he doesn't have enough.
Do they
work.
actually get paid, or is he just?
I do think there were some tax seasons my sisters may have helped him out, and there may have been some exchange of funds. I never got involved, or I never needed to know anything about that. But
now, in fact, can he sell his client list when he decides to retire?
I would imagine so. He bought the business from someone who retired, so I'd imagine part of his plan is to sell the business. In fact, he's still in the same building that the previous guy was running the business out of when he sold it, which is a rental. Yeah.
So that's cool.
So he basically just took over someone else's business, which was an interesting ordeal because it was a guy that would kept changing his mind on if he wanted to sell the business or not, and so my dad had to see that through to the. There were other people that tried and failed to see that through and get the business, but my dad managed to hold out.
The business closed.
What's that?
to get the deal closed.
Right, he got the
Yeah.
deal. Well, the other thing is that the previous owner had part of his filing system was up here, and so my dad kept him on as an employee for a number of months after the transaction was done.
Up here, wait, you mean Boston?
What?
You mean Boston?
I was pointing to my head.
Oh, up in his head.
Right. So my dad kept him around as an employee for a number of months. And I think by the end of that situation, my dad kind of regretted that choice. It's very hard to transition from owning a business to being an employee to a business. And
Sure.
there were some stories and some fires and microwaves and some other fun things that happened during that period of months there. But yeah, no,
He had a hot dog cooker, didn't he?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it was about as safe as that. But no, he is working on that plan for that. I do. He talks about trying to figure out, because I think he wants to sell the house he's in now and find something more smaller, but he hasn't quite figured that out exactly. So he's still thinking about.
And then
that.
you ask him, where are you going to stay when you visit?
Well, I don't know how much smaller. Well, also he's considering like the expenses and the taxes of the town he's in. It's not a good retirement town, so he doesn't think he wants to
So let's move to
retire to the
Florida.
town he lives in
Okay.
now. Oh no, he wants to stay nearby to family.
So he's not going to move to Maine.
No, he's not going to move north or south. He's going to stay in Jersey. Of course, I've said, you got a beach house. Move into the beach house year round. He's like, yeah, but if we ever get evacuated for some kind of a storm or something, then I got to deal with that. You know, I'm like, dude, you got 2 kids with houses in the state. They have that take. One of them will take you in. You can come up to Massachusetts, but you got closer options.
You can tell him, hey, I know this place in Plainville that.
Does he understand
this
that Massachusetts is actually called Taxachusetts?
Well, he's not having any plans to move to Massachusetts. I was only talking about crashing someplace if the beach gets
I
evacuated.
mean, if you said, why don't you move to Massachusetts?
I never would have said that, though.
Okay.
I don't know how that became a topic.
Because you said something about Massachusetts.
Well, no, when he was talking about he doesn't want to live in the beach house year round because if there's ever an evacuation at some point in the upcoming years, and he'd have to get evacuated someplace or some shelter or whatever. I'm like, dude, stay with one of us, for that period of time.
Oh, I see. So come to Massachusetts for that.
Really what I said was stay with one of my sisters because they both have houses in Jersey. And so I realized I was sounding like I was volunteering other people's houses.
Let's pawn
So
you
that's
off
why
with one of my sisters.
Absolutely.
And,
So I said,
Nothing like
he
sending
could
somebody
certainly
else
come
money.
stay with me if he needed to, but it would, he's got closer options.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about temporary but he doesn't want to stay the shore year round because he just doesn't want to deal with the hassle of the possibility of an evacuation if some storm
understand
comes
that.
through.
I understand that.
So I know that it's a topic he thinks about and he talks about, but I don't really know when. But it's coming. I think he's got a age or year in mind. I forget exactly. I think he's holding out for the full.
Would he retire
amount that
from
you
the
get.
business first?
Yeah.
What do you mean? As opposed to
Sell the business first before moving?
probably, yeah, that would be the order to do it. I mean, I don't think he needs to pack up and ditch the house right away, but I know in his mind he doesn't see himself staying retired in that house in that town. But then again, that might even change. Who knows?
My sister-in-law in Connecticut is working for this this lawyer that's in his 80s. It's like, dude, when are you going to retire? He's probably keep going so that she can still work.
Well,
She could work. She could retire anytime.
Well, Sparks is touring this year, and one of them is getting close to his to 80.
What? You better go see him again before he retires.
Oh yeah. No, new album's coming out next month. Stereolab and Sparks are dropping new albums, and
that's a good year. Oh, you're
and they're both touring, and they're both going to be in Boston in September. I got tickets to both, so I'm absolutely going to go.
So note to self: no shows in September.
Yeah, well, that's 2 long weekends I have in September that would be doing that, but I'll probably be free by Monday. But yeah, no, Ron Mayle, the songwriter, the older of the two brothers in Sparks, he is 79 years old as of April 5th. Oh, he's turning 79 tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, last year I went to see Roger Daltrey, and he's currently 81, so he would have been, he would have been 80.
And now he holds the microphone up to the audience when it comes to the yeah.
Exactly. That's right. So he doesn't have to.
He don't do that anymore.
You don't do that anymore.
Now, Dune is suggesting, Dude saying that he doesn't think my dad's going to move that car again. So well, one way or another, the car got to get moved if my dad moves from that house. My dad does own a trailer. So if my dad moves house, that car will probably go on a trailer and get moved someplace. It might not move by its own engine, but it'll move. Because my dad stopped driving the Trans Am out to the Trans Am Nationals, which is a bummer. But there used to be a Trans Am club in New Jersey, and they would drive out in a pack. So if someone's old car, because I mean these Trans Ams, they're older cars, things break. You're bound. You have a pack of cars, you're bound to have a breakdown at some point during the trip. But when you got a pack of people, you all pull over together and you work together. You solve the problem.
Yeah.
But the group kind of went their own ways and on to other things, and so.
Oh, that's sad.
So now my dad pretty much goes by himself if he goes. Although my nephew's been going with him the last time.
Where is this group meet?
Well, the group doesn't exist anymore, but it was a New Jersey-based group. But the Trans Am Nationals is an annual car show that meets in Dayton, Ohio, at the airport.
Right.
And so they would drive out there as a pack. But so now that my dad's got to drive out solo, he doesn't want to drive the Trans Am in case.
Take it civilian airport.
I don't know. I haven't been there. I
Not
just
the
get
Air Force Base.
I just get the T-shirt.
Huh?
If he
But
buys
it's
me
the
one.
airport, though, right?
I don't. It's an airport in Dayton. That's all I know.
It doesn't say Wright-Patterson.
It's Brian. It's probably the same one.
You're asking the wrong person.
It's probably the one they say the same one they do the Hamvention at. Honestly,
So
there's
I'm sorry, they do what?
the Hamvention stuff, the ham radio convention stuff.
Oh, ham radio.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't want to deal with breaking down in the Trans Am. He doesn't want to deal with having to get the car towed because that could be an issue, and he doesn't want to deal with leaving the car on the side of the road to go get
Or
help.
you know what he should do?
Yeah.
When he goes to this show.
So he
Use
tows
other-
it.
Yeah, he tows it there, right?
Right.
So then he only has to drive it locally, and if it craps out,
Right.
His
Right.
trailer, head
So
back.
that's why he owns a trailer. He bought a trailer so that he can and a truck. So he
problem solved.
although it's way more fun to buy. Supposedly, it's way more fun to drive a Trans Am out to Dayton than it is to drive a truck towing. a
Well,
Trans Am.
yeah.
yeah.
If
Wouldn't
you
you
drive
rather
trucks.
drive a Trans Am than a truck?
Which one has the better radio?
The Trans Am, excuse me, because some of those Trans Ams have like have cassette or maybe.
Oh no 8-track.
8-track. Okay.
Yo!
Yeah,
See, that's why you would drive the Trans Am.
it's got the 8-track.
See,
But
I mean, who needs Sirius XM when you got an 8-track, right?
so this weekend
Exactly.
we're having the Priester celebration on Saturday, Easter on Sunday. I'm gonna crash there Sunday night. I'll be driving home Monday.
yeah, I won't be.
Then
here
there's the
next Monday.
poster event on Monday.
So Mars, you won't be around next Monday?
No, I won't. I'm gonna be at my sister's.
Okay, Brian,
It's
you
free. Yes,
you
it's
around
free
or not
next
next Monday?
I could be around.
Okay, I should be home by then, but I'm also taking next week off because I've been accruing vacation time. I need to start
Okay.
burning some
Well, just
of it.
let me know if you're not going to come.
Okay, I'll let you know. I have no reason to cancel, but I'm hoping
If you
next
change your
week.
mind and you got to. That's fine.
I'm hoping next week to get some progress done on my Pi car project and get some streaming surround
Pi
sound
car?
working in the
Yes.
car.
Yep, dude. Easter's on 420 this year, dude.
Yeah, it's
Did you
it's
finish your Pi TV set project yet?
well, I did get one of my Pis working on an LCD screen for a little while, and I got to do a few things, but I never quite got it to where I really wanted it to, and I never got that open source project that lets you emulate TV stations working right. And then I kind of moved on to getting the Pi to stream surround sound so I could put one in the car, and that's been my area of focus. But I did buy a bunch of Pis, and they did show up. So I've got TVs, I got Pis, I got plans for the first thing I got to do is I got to finish the car radio thing. And then,
Gators. Speaking of pie,
yeah,
are you bringing cheesecake or what are you bringing to your thing on Priester?
that's a good. Well, Priester's going to be a brunch, so it doesn't need to. And I think someone already volunteered to bring a dessert, so I'm going to bring a bunch of caramel nests, like Cheerio caramel nest recipe, and I'll make like a double batch of those, so I have plenty for both gatherings because that's a nice little side thing to have. But I did volunteer to bring a dessert to Easter dinner at my parents'.
Wait,
and,
why can't you have cheesecake for breakfast?
Oh, I could, but I don't know. I don't want to make. It's a lot of desserts to make 2 cakes.
I understand. I understand.
But I haven't decided if I'm going to make a carrot cake or a cheesecake for Easter.
Okay.
Or
What
I
do people
could.
want? Is there a family thing
Well-
that says, "Hey, we want you to bring this"?
So my stepmom sends me a text, which is. I hate the phone. I've always hated the phone. I hate the phone. But and I hate texts, but I hate calling people too. But I like people. So she sends. Basically, I know that the logical plan is to drive down Saturday morning to the cousin's place for the Priester gathering. After Priester, drive down to my dad's place, crash there Saturday night, have Easter Sunday, and then drive home either Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on traffic, time, yada yada. Probably Monday morning. And but I hadn't actually officially asked, like, hey, Dad, cool if I crash there Saturday night. It's tax season. I if I call him, it's disrupting him. And but I did at some point need to confirm that.
That's when
So-
you text him because then he can look at it whenever he wants.
So I was waiting for them to ask me, like, hey, you staying for Easter? Because usually they'll ask me and I'll say, yeah, if that's cool. So anyways, my stepmom sends me a text saying, are you planning on bringing the dessert? I'm trying to plan the dinner. Are you planning on bringing a dessert? I'm like, yeah, I can. Of course I'll bring a dessert. Do you have any requests? Whatever's easiest for you.
Oh,
And
I
it's
hate
like-
that.
Baking is baking. It's not that hard. So I'm like, well, I can make a carrot cake or I can make a cheesecake. Do you have any preference? Whichever one of those is easier for you. But
Oh my
also,
God.
well, the other thing that was awkward to me was that when she asked me if I was bringing a dessert, she also told me what time things are starting. Like we're having the Easter egg hunt at 12, dinner at 2, yada
Oh,
yada.
that's
Or
great. At least she has a schedule. That's cool.
right, but you usually tell someone a schedule when you're implying what time you want them to arrive, and it's like, well, I'm already gonna be there because I'm gonna sleep in your house overnight. Like she didn't ask if I'm sleeping there, and so now I have to ask, hey, is it okay if I sleep there Saturday night? And she's like, oh, of course, that's what I was expecting. And but it was just that awkward. And anyways, whatever. But I went out to buy a bunch of nice beer so I could bring some beer with me to the Priester thing.
Cool.
Jello
Beer
with
for
carrot
breakfast?
slices.
Beer for
That
breakfast.
sounds disgusting, Bod Pro. No offense. I don't know if I'd want Jello with carrot slices inside it.
Dune. It sounds like Dune's had some weird Jello salads in his childhood.
I love ambrosia. Don't get me wrong. I love that. And I like the green Jello with the stuff full in the middle. I like
Well,
that.
here's the thing, and I've growing up, my great grandmother would always make a pear pineapple salad for any holiday.
Oh, those are good.
Got.
Those are good.
Yeah, that's you use the clear gelatin.
Yeah.
You drain the juice out of canned crushed pineapple and canned sliced pears, and you cut the pears up into smaller chunks, and you boil the juice. You add some orange juice. You add in the crushed pineapple and the pear. You put it into the nice fancy mold, and you got yourself a like gelatin pear pineapple flavored type of thing. And I always liked that. I always thought it was weird to serve something that was clearly a dessert on your dinner plate, but that's how that it was a fruit salad type of thing to have with the meal. So, but and Grandma used to continue making the pear pineapple salad, but she started throwing a fruit cocktail in there too, and I preferred it without the fruit cocktail. I thought that was too much. But we hadn't had the pear pineapple salad in so long because once Grandma stopped being around for, no one else was like, hey, I need to make the pear pineapple salad. So I started making it again and just showing up with it. And I don't know how people feel about that. Like the last time I went to the cousins, I brought a pear pineapple salad with me. And I put it in the fridge, and my aunt shows up, and she's putting things in the fridge. She's like, who made the pear pineapple salad? I'm like, right here. and that's what I was talking about, that I had to have the recipe because my Jell-O mold is smaller than what, Grandma or Nana's Jell-O mold was. And she said, oh, we have that. You can have it. I'm never going to use it again. So now I have the big Jell-O mold.
Can you make Gators? I have a question. I have a very
Okay.
good question. Can you use the Jell-O mold when making a cheesecake? So it would be cheesecake in the shape of the Jell-O mold.
I think it would be sticky. I don't think it would unmold well.
Oh, okay. I was just hoping. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, but
Here's your Jell-O mold, but it's cheesecake.
So
Crisco solves everything, doesn't it?
what's that?
Crisco solves everything, right?
Cheesecake
Coat
is
the pan.
cheesecake is smushy, smeary. It doesn't have a surface tension to release. That's unless you made it a gelatin like cheesecake. I suppose you could.
Or you coat the.
I wouldn't want to.
Coat the pan with the base. What do you don't use graham cracker base? You use what?
Yeah, you do use graham cracker.
Oh, okay. So coat the Jell-O mold with that.
So instead of a graham cracker crust, it'd be a graham cracker topping.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
Well, let's put it this way:
Hmm.
a cheesecake and Jell-O mold would be weird anyway.
Yes. This whole
Double
thing is
weird.
weird. I don't know why we're talking. You know what? Maybe we should go back to the carrot slices.
I know why we're talking about it.
Carrots do not need to be in a dessert. I'm sorry. No carrots in my desserts. I don't want healthy things in my dessert.
You don't like carrot cake then for dessert?
Not my first thing. That carrot
Okay.
cake is my
So-
vegetable for the day, Brian.
Yeah.
With a cream
Yeah.
cheese frosting?
Yes, that
Oh,
that is
yeah.
part of the main meal. Excuse me.
Yes.
So who should we raid?
So it's steak, carrot cake, and then you get dessert.
Okay. So, yeah, you want us to raid someone, but before we raid someone, we should once again thank everyone for tuning in to yet another fun-filled edition of...
Insert title here.
And we do try to be educational here. So, Mars, what have you learned this week?
I've learned that girls that have jiggly, bouncy things only give you headshots.
That could be taken wrong.
That,
Exactly.
if only that were true. No, I think the only headshot I was going to be getting from Amy would be a bullet right in the head, right between the eyes. Brian, what have you learned this week?
Just calling them funny and goofy can get you a 7-day ban on Twitch.
Yep.
There is that. And I
If you're
learned...
not losing, you're getting banned.
And I learned I should give Mod Pro the ability to raid. So I need to figure out how do I. Mod Pro is a moderator, so I guess I gotta set moderators to be able to. I'll figure that out another week. But thank you everyone for listening. What have I learned? I've learned that I need to ask Dune, and I learned that I don't know what. I don't think I learned anything this week.
And I just learned that Mod Pro is a moderator.
I learned that Dune's idea of dessert is Jello and carrot slices.
Oh.
So
That's horrible.
let's see who's live right now. Graceful Bard, Ray Rachel, Live Sticks, Trump or Biden 2028. Yeah, that'll. Oh, let's raid Graceful Bard. We haven't raided her for a few weeks. I forget who we rated last week. But oh, thank you, Mod Pro.
Tired actor.
Is Tired Actor live?
Apparently is.
Oh, I don't know. Well, let's see if she lets us. If she doesn't let us, we'll go to the Graceful Bard.
That's fine too.
I don't. Where's she in the list?
Sometimes I know sometimes that I know people are alive and it doesn't show up in the list.
Oh, she's right on the top. I glossed right past her. All right, and she's gonna play Red Dead Redemption today.
Oh, that's great. That's a great game.
She had a clip that she posted where someone was like hanging onto the edge of a cliff and she needed to choose whether to like rescue him or just watch him fall, and she hesitated too long and he fell. Yeah. And she felt kind of bad about that, but also kind of amused. And yes, she's letting us raid. So we're going to go raid Tired Actor.
Yay.
I like Tired Actor. So she does great shorts. But okay. And if she ever had a science fair project, I would not take a picture of it.
Why not?
Respectfully admire it in the distance. Okay, we're going to raid. Good night.
All right.
All right, and we are raiding.